How should we, as Catholics, handle the following inquiry? If certain creation doctrines are not yet formally defined, must I assent to these doctrines? To answer this question, let us examine a work by the Catholic priest, Father Giuseppe Frassanetti. The work, written in the 1860s, titled The Dogmatic Catechism, has a preface written by Archbishop Henry Manning, who would later become a cardinal of the Catholic Church. In the preface, the then Archbishop writes, "I therefore very heartily recommend the use of this catechism to the clergy and faithful." This Archbishop recommends this work not only for the potentially poorly catechized Catholic faithful, but also for the Catholic clergy. As this short work is to help expound on the approach of the Catholic to doctrine, we also include a quote by Blessed Pope Pius IX. He writes that Father Frassanetti was a priest excellent in doctrine and virtue. What an appropriate quote from the Holy Father on the author, Father Frassanetti, who we will look at to orient us on properly understanding Catholic doctrine. Now onward to Father Frassanetti's Dogmatic Catechism, to help us know as a Catholic, what must I believe? To answer this, we look to Father Frassanetti's section of his Catholic Catechism dealing with the theological virtue of faith. In theology, are those things only certain which the Church has already defined and declared to be of faith? It does not follow that because a truth has not been defined and declared to be of faith, it may be denied with impunity, or at least looked upon as doubtful, but only that he who does not believe it, or doubts it, is not guilty of the sin of heresy, though he may be guilty of the most grievous rashness. How many times does one hear, "The doctrines of creation have never been formally defined by the Church. Therefore, I am free to believe progressive creation and other forms of theistic evolution." But Father Frassanetti continues, "Before the Council of Trent, certain truths were not defined and declared to be of faith, which in that council were defined and declared to be so, against the novelties of the Protestants. And yet those truths were commonly believed and recognized as certain by Holy Church, and it would have been grave temerity to deny or cast doubt upon them, as Luther and Calvin did." Although temerity is a word not so widely used today, it means to exhibit boldness, recklessness, or rashness as relates to adhering to doctrine. To add the word grave in front of temerity means the action on the objective level has now become grave sin, or what Catholics identify as mortal sin. To consciously choose to disbelieve such truths is a damnable offense against God and His Church. In our next video, we will continue our examination of Father Frassanetti's Dogmatic Catechism.